Welcome back to Saints Row the Third. Okay, we've defended our base, we've done the Genki missions. Not in that order. So it's finally time for the boss to relax for a little while, get some pool time. Maybe we'll... guess I could probably do some upgrades first. I did just go through a whole thing, and look at that, we've got some spare cash, so... Alright, what do we got for upgrades? What's the new thing? Faster reload, huh? Well, that's cheap. Hell yeah, I'll take that one. Thank you, I would like to make that better. Alright, so yeah, let's just sit back, relax, and definitely not have any unexpected conversations.
Congratulations! As leader of the Saints, you've been selected as this year's contestant for Genki Bowl 7. Please meet us as soon as you can, and good luck to you!
Right, so yes, as I said before, DLC time. And as you can probably guess from the runtime, yeah, it's actually a pretty good thing that this had to be cut in half, because this is the bigger half, and it would have been pretty significant. So yeah, kinda bit off a little more than I could chew for a single video. But yeah, we've got Genki Bowl 7. Alright, so let's head on down to the studio. So, what might we be seeing in this DLC, named after a thing we can see elsewhere in the game? Well, as you might imagine, there's gonna be a bit of overlap with the actual Genki missions. In fact, if you've been playing them recently like I have, this next contest isn't gonna be a huge surprise.
Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the craziest, wildest, bloodiest extravaganza outside of Juarez, Genki Bowl 7. I'm Zach, and you all know my tag team partner, Bobby. Bobby, previous Genki Bowls have had no lack of surprises.
Of the nastiest sort, Zach, and this year will be no different. Murder, mayhem, and fun are all just a big part of any Genki Bowl, and the Genius Mancat has cooked up an exciting list of never-before-seen events that promise to be even deadlier than anything we've ever seen before.
Oh, hey, worse than the Grizzly Bear Rodeo from Genki Bowl 4?
There is absolutely no doubt about it.
Wow, I'm actually salivating. Oh my goodness. And as an added bonus, Bobby, we've just learned that the leader of the 3rd Street Saints will be taking part in today's festivities. Think they can keep the winning streak going, huh?
We're about to find out. The games are gonna begin, so let's get down there. And when I say down, we mean down. To the action!
Okay, well, I gotta say, it is a shock to see that Bobby's an actual person and not like a cartoon alligator.
Apocalypse Genki!
Today's match was created by Angry Tiger, putting her own spin on the classic, super ethical reality climax.
That's right, Bobby. And I hear there's new things in store for our mascots.
I think Tammy can fill us in on that. Tammy?
Thanks, Bobby. In the deepest, darkest corners of the jungle lives a great warrior, protected by fierce traps and mascot bodyguards. She...
Whoa, pull out there, Tammy. What are you doing?
Reading the script Angry Tiger handed me.
She handed you a script?
And the best part's coming up. She keeps her minions in line through the threat of shark-infested waters. So beware, all who enter the jungle of the Angry Tiger.
Well, that was entertaining. Thanks, Tammy.
You're welcome, Zach.
Amazing. Sharks are a new addition to the Genki wheelhouse. Looks like those mascots better hope they don't fall in.
Yeah, not on this run they won't. So yes, this is the usual Genki fare, but in a new location with some admittedly new kills. There are sharks, which, hey, if you remember, we do have a chum gun, so think about that, except it's an area hazard instead of just a gun I can use on people. But yeah, a bit of new theming, and that definitely presents its own new challenges. It's a familiar mission type, but Well, I mean, these are kind of the same usual traps, but the jungle theming definitely changes things up a bit. We also have a new character here, Tammy Tolliver. In case Zach and Bobby weren't enough for you. But otherwise, yeah, the overall goal is the same. Earn enough money so that the goal opens up. Any money you get after that, you do keep for real. It's not just a score for the minigame and then a set amount of cash for the actual prize.
I just spoke with one of the mascot trainers, and he expressed his apprehension at the new format created by Angry Tiger.
These mascots have been coming to Genki Bowl for years. What has them so worked up with this match?
With so many of those hires to fill the ranks of the Genki mascot army taken from the streets of Steelport, they're more used to the urban jungle than the actual one. Now they find themselves on unfamiliar ground.
It's just a set dressing. How bad can it really be?
Reports of malaria, yellow fever, and gangrene have been pouring in over the last few days, putting several...
Oh, damn it. I had to run from a man. I didn't want to get through that whole thing. Well, you could see that apparently jungle-based diseases do exist within the sets, but this is Steelport, so this really shouldn't be a surprise. Like, yeah, of course you're gonna get that shit in a replica of a jungle in Steelport. Right, so of course that is but one of the jungle Genki apocalypses, or apocalypse. There are more. Like this one, where you only start with fisticuffs.
Fans, the final match in Angry Tiger's Apocalypse Genki is about to begin.
Here we go. I'm hoping for more mascots being ripped apart by man-eating sharks, Zach.
You mean mascot-eating sharks, don't you, Bobby?
Now you're splitting hairs.
You mean fur.
Oh, that was terrible.
I thank you.
Okay, take us away from this conversation, Tammy.
Well, Bobby, several sharks are actually having digestive problems with the fur from the mascot outfit.
Oh, God.
I guess there's no escaping the truth here. Sharks and mascots are truly star-crossed lovers.
But no less entertaining for the fans.
Right you are there, Bobby.
So I did actually have to re-record this one, so if it seems like it's not matching up with everything around it, in terms of like money or whatever, that's why.
So, Bobby, have you ever been in the jungle before?
Oh, sure. Back when I was seeking fortune and glory as a treasure hunter. You bet.
You made your living hunting down lost relics?
And started the occasional junta. Made a lot of money that way, Zach. Sadly, most of it went to the lawyers.
Did the indigenous people have problems with you taking what their ancestors left behind?
What are you talking about? We stole the loot from eccentric collectors living in their secret mountain fortresses. We only needed the lawyers to keep us from being extradited back for trial.
Well, that must have been rough.
Well, you're not kidding, Zach. Trekking through the jungle with four...
Wait! Yes, it's a present!
Don't interrupt, Bobby. Whatever, we got through the most important parts. Apparently Bobby is just the coolest. And yeah, no, I had to have that dialogue in there. When I realized that it was missing, I had to reload an earlier save and just re-record this one.
This match sure has the contestant on their toes. The course seems to be giving this saint a run for the literal money.
That it does, Bobby. Would you say Angry Tiger's new venue may be wearing on the contestant?
Not at all. They still look at the top of their game. The way the targets and challenges are dropping with each shot still gives me that warm feeling down below.
Could be herpes, Bobby. But in other news, I just passed Angry Tiger backstage, and the river of blood spewing from the broken chair leg stuck in a stagehand's neck says it all. She thought her event would be the one to stop this contestant in the end.
Given how well this saint has done throughout all of Genki Bowl, I'm surprised she thought it would end any other way.
Wait, now I'm being told that the stagehand spilled coffee on her and it had nothing to do with the match. She apparently is quite pleased at how well the crowds reacted to her arena.
Now that makes more sense to me.
How does stabbing someone with a piece of wood over spilled coffee make sense?
Have you ever tried getting that out of cashmere?
I suppose you have a point. That's it! They did it!
But also, Kashmir, you're wearing that here? There's gotta be so much blood around here, why would you ever? So anyway, yeah, that's Apocalypse Genki, but don't worry, there is a lot more. It would be really wild if you had to pay, let's see, how much is this, $7 whole minus 1 penny for 2 missions and a new homie. No, there is more for us to do. There are a bunch of new mission types. There are, admittedly, variations on old mission types.
Great news! Professor Genki has requested that you escort him to the Genki Bowl publicity appearances. However, he can be a bit eccentric. See if you can get him all charged up to meet his fans.
Alright, so, let's see, new mission type then.
Hello, Genki Bowl fans! Zach and Bobby here bringing you some exciting Genki Bowl updates from the Genius Professor.
That's right, Zach. We've just received word that Professor Genki has decided, in honor of Genki Bowl 7, to make a public appearance on the streets of Stilwater.
And I also hear that the Master of Ceremony will be escorted by none other than our current Genki Bowl frontrunner, the leader of the Saints.
If you want to meet the genius behind the epic extravaganza of bloodshed and carnage, then head to Leather and Lace.
And while you're there, go ahead and pick up a gift suit for that special someone in your life. That's all from us. We'll be back later with more coverage from Genki Bowl 7.
You know, I could use a gift suit.
Okay, so, the goal of this one is to run people over to charge the flamethrower and then set things on fire. So pretty much as long as you don't slow down too much or fuck up too much, Genki will be just fine with you, so all you really gotta focus on is torching everything you can find. And again, if you run out of fuel, run more people over. So yeah, it's more or less the usual fare, but with Genki. And a car that is interesting in concept, but it kinda drives like shit. So it's a good thing that it shoots fire, or yeah, it would be a little less than ideal. Anyway though, yeah, so in terms of the DLC for this game, there are a bunch of packs that are just, you know, for outfits or vehicles or whatever. You know, sometimes some weapons. We had the stuff from Money Shot, that's DLC. Of course, if you're playing the remastered version, you just get all of this, you don't have to buy it necessarily. And as I've mentioned before, it'll silently unlock, so you don't get that whole run-through at the beginning of the game, where it's just, you unlock this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. Which, yeah, I can see why they would do that. But in terms of DLCs that actually have substance to them and aren't just costume packs, this is one of them. Genki Bowl 7 provides more than just a few new outfits or homies or whatever. There are also mission types, and I mean, there's technically a story to it, but it's pretty simple. It's Genki Bowl 7. Participate. There you go, that's it. That's the story.
Couldn't last any longer.
But yeah, there are 2 other story DLCs that, in terms of story, are a little more significant than this. I would say this is the most simple of all of them, and that's kind of why I'm starting with this one first. I think it just makes sense. We got Genki Bowl, and that's really about it for now. We will save the other 2 for down the line, but we have Sexy Kitten Yarngasm, which is sure a title.
Your presence is needed for the start of the next Genki Bowl 7 match, created by the Genki Girls Sexy Kitten. Please head there as soon as you're able so we can get underway.
What are these mascots? You know, I've not actually watched any of the Professor Genki shows. I participated in so many of them. Do not understand this world or its characters. And you know what? I don't plan on starting. Right, so this is actually a cool variation of your usual mayhem missions, in which we control a giant yarn ball. So this is actually, I think, based on some cut content, which was fun to learn about. So, okay, remember at the end of Act 1, the giant ball that killed Philip Loren and how it just kept rolling through town? Well, it was apparently supposed to be more of a thing. There is data about that, where it would have been... Oh crap, I forget if it's supposed to be a vehicle or a homie. It probably would have functioned like this, if I had to guess. This is probably... I probably shouldn't say probably. This seems like the kind of thing you would have done with a ball. But admittedly, I'm very entertained by the possibility of it showing up as a homie. I'm sure it had to appear as that for, like, gameplay functions or whatever.
Wow.
But, yeah, I think technically speaking, even though it was labeled as a homie, it probably would have been one of the, delivery ones, rather than there's just a giant ball following you around, killing people with you. It would have been funny, but yeah, it was probably supposed to just be a vehicle. But, let's see, what do we have here? City takeover? Pfft, fuck that. Oh yeah, let me just skip half of the content of this game. Oh yeah, I'd love to not have to do anything. Ooh, look at me go. I mean, I guess it's fine that that's there if you really don't want to do all this stuff, but... nah. I'm cool with buying stuff and doing the activities. That is more or less half the game.
It's time to watch as the leader of the Saints tears up the town once again for fun and profit.
Fun is right, Zach. This giant ball of death yarn seems to be the perfect way to cruise around the city of Stilwater.
But only in Sexy Kitten Yarngasm can you find such a mode of transportation. Outside of Genki Bowl 7, what's your favorite way to get around, Bobby?
Well, that's easy. By helicopter.
You aren't afraid of heights, I take it.
If I have to choose between getting mutilated by the drivers in this city or a carefree flight with a view, I think the choice is obvious.
But what if there's some sort of malfunction that causes the chopper to go down?
Parachutes are a wonderful invention, Zach.
And if the chute fails?
Try all you want, Zach. I'm still beating you to work in the morning.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I saw you putting sugar in my gas tank last night.
God, I did not hear this when I was actually playing, for the obvious reasons of I was distracted by the giant shockwave yarn ball.
In the wake of this saint, the city's gonna hit Genki with one hefty fine.
Excuse me, Zach, but rumor on the street is the mayor is quite a fan of Professor Genki. It seems doubtful any fine would be issued due to this event.
I think it's the Genki girls the mayor is more interested in.
And if he wants a private interview with any of the girls, punching Genki in his pocketbook isn't the way to go.
I wouldn't want to be the mugger who tried to hold up the overlord of Genki Bowl.
I agree. Few people know this, Zach, but Professor Genki used to test out all his games personally.
That sounds like a must-see event. Why doesn't he anymore?
Well, the cleaning crew quit after they saw the massacre he left behind. Pulling bits of mascots out of the air ducts and off the ceiling can't be fun for anyone.
I wouldn't be surprised, but is he really that good?
Have you ever seen a room full of brutes crying like newborn babies?
I suppose I haven't. But yeah, also, apparently the statistics of the yarn ball are the same as the data ball. The ball we know of only from gutting the game, not from playing it. Which I would not know, but I guess that makes sense. Admittedly, I do wish that the ball actually existed, though. Like, I don't need sexy kitten rides. There we go, Yarny delivery, that's better. I mean, look, I'd prefer Ball, the original, but, I mean, better than nothing. Nice that we have this, at least.
Guess what? The professor thought you did such a fantastic job, he wants you to drive again. Remember, don't look him in the eye unless you want to wake up in a North Korean prison camp.
Now, is that an instantaneous thing, or is that a knockout, and then I'm just sort of, sent through some sort of strange series of events kind of thing?
I'm happy
Hey there, Genki Bowl fans. Are you ready for another surprise? Courtesy of Professor Genki himself.
After his last public appearance, Genki has decided to stir up his adoring yet bloodthirsty fans yet again.
And of course, the leader of the Saints, the champion so far here at Genki Bowl 7, will be accompanying him.
I heard last time the crowd were ablaze with excitement. Literally, some people left with third-degree burns.
Nothing like a little calamine lotion won't fix. So, sports fans, if you want to catch a glimpse of the genius man cat, hurry on down to Planet Saints right now.
And don't forget to tune in for the next event here at Genki Bowl 7.
Alright, so... Yep, more of this. Again, this is a decent version of Escorts. I think Tiger Escort is still my favorite, but I would rank this above regular Escort at least. It admittedly did have a few instances where I flipped, I think. Where I lost entirely due to things that weren't really my fault. I think. Don't really remember my failures for this one that much. So I guess they weren't that substantial, but still. Did fail, and I don't think I do too poorly a job at this. But yeah, I don't like regular Escort. I don't like... I really think it's mainly just the nature of somebody pointing to somebody I've already passed and going, kill that person. But it makes more sense with Genki, and I honestly think that Genki's a little more reasonable than the people having sex in the back seat, which is, you know, really more of a problem for them. Like, you have to reevaluate your life if that's the case. Anyway, though, yeah, we do have people following us, so... in addition to bad driving, you can also just get caught by the usual methods, which is people trying to get too close to you for too long. Alright, okay, just kill enough people to ignite this flamethrower. I don't know how death makes the flamethrower work more, but, was not exactly lucky here. Not getting a lot of people to squish. There we go. That took far too long. Game, I need you to spawn more people. We really can't do this whole... I need to go down several blocks before I can activate the flamethrower thing. I mean, I guess I did win, but still. Yeah, that's probably the entrance Genki would want to make. I don't really understand what's going on spatially anymore, but... Again, Genki probably likes that. Alright, there we go. That was very ethical. By whose standards? Genki's, obviously. Are his standards like everybody else? No, absolutely not. Did you just see what I just did? Well, you know. You know the answer to that, then.
Tammy Tolliver here. The next match is ready when you are. I expect you'll be a natural at
I've
it.
been pretty good so far. Alright, so... We're skipping most of Whisper to a Scream, aren't we? Yeah, alright, fine. Okay, so... What is our next and final mission type? I think this is the last one. Let's see, let's barrel right into it. Yep, Sad Panda Sky Blazing. Okay, so like, yeah, this is technically a blazing mission, but it works way different.
Sad Panda Sky Blazing!
Professor Genki's own Sad Panda has created this all-new event just for Genki Bowl. And boy, it is a doozy.
And here to give us the details is our very own Tammy Tolliver. Tammy, what does our contestant have to look forward to today?
Thanks, fellas. Well, the leader of the Saints will have to skydive through floating rings for cash. Balloons are ethical or unethical, but either will help keep them in the air. And rooftops are populated with Genki mascot teams looking to put a hurtin' on our contestants.
Sounds like quite the event. And what can you tell us about the panda suit our contestant is wearing?
The panda suit allows the contestant to fly forward faster than normal, keeping them up for a longer time.
There's nothing nothing more majestic than seeing a panda in flight.
Wait a minute, Bobby. Don't be ridiculous. Pandas can't actually fly.
Boy, it's a metaphor, Zach.
I don't think it is. Come on.
Now, who's being ridiculous now?
Okay, so yeah. Sky blazing. I have to admit, I'm kinda sad there are only 2 versions of this mission. I kinda would've wanted more. This one is pretty fun, though. If you think you can pass this by only going through the rings towards the destination, incorrect, you can't.
Falling into the streets below, Bobby.
Let's check now with Tammy Tolliver to get the crowd's reaction. Tammy, give it to us.
Bobby, things down here are a combination of mass chaos and kleptomania. Most of the shankings, however, appear to be over the flamethrowers, which kept the balloons in the air.
I imagine those are real crowd pleasers in Steelport.
Yes, in fact, several people are heading towards one now. Oh, a businessman just beat down a hobo with his briefcase. A sight not uncommon to these parts. Then an old lady clubbed him with her cane.
Reminds me of my childhood.
Well, this lady... Oh, wait! Looks like a hipster in a 3rd Street Saints hoodie just falcon punched her from behind.
Wow. Guess our contestant has some... And there's the finish!
That's some skill our contestant is showing today, Zach.
We've seen this saint shoot, and now we've seen this saint fly. And frankly, I'm excited to see what's next, Bobby.
I hope it's a cooking event, because after this, all I can think about are delicious panda dogs. I am starving, Zach.
Alright, Bobby, not fond of pandas. At least insofar as allowing them to live and not be food. Right, so yeah, that's our first sky blazing. Again, pretty fun. Wish there were more of them. But we'll make do with what we have. I mean, you can replay them to be fair, but it's gonna be the same maps. Alright, and there's our other one. Alright, let's finish up Genki Bowl 7. Also, yeah, the rings are very lenient.
Welcome back to Sad Panda's very own Sad Panda Sky Blazing here at Genki Bowl 7.
We've seen our contestant complete the first level of this course already, and just as expected, this saint can soar with the best of them.
No doubt that eager to please the fans, Professor Genki has ordered the difficulty ramped up this second time around.
Speaking of eager to please, let's check in down on the streets with our girl. Tammy, what you got?
I'm standing on a rooftop downtown with executives from several Steelport banks. Champagne is being served by scantily clad women, while large bets are being placed on how this saint will perform today.
What's the spread for today's match?
Only those buying in are getting the numbers, but this wager may explain the 7 jumpers that were scraped off the street after the last match, Zach.
Ooh, ouch!
So that's why my bank closed down.
Wow, a lot's riding on this whole thing.
And here comes the chainsaw!
Though weird that they would bet against us, like... I don't know, I think the boss is probably the surest bet you can get. What do you mean they can use those? Oh well. Anyway though, yeah, the rings are actually pretty lenient. You wouldn't think they would be considering they're on fire, but you can kinda just be around them and they still go, so like...
I'm beginning to feel bad for Sad Panda, Zach.
What's that?
Well, how would you like your face to be synonymous with unethical?
But the unethical targets are the ones usually avoided.
So you're saying it's better to be ignored? No wonder she's so depressed.
Well, that's just existential. Anyway though, yeah, that's pretty much it. This one's got a higher requirement. Higher score requirement. But I really don't think this one's that difficult either. I don't think I failed this one. I did fail the first one, but that's because I was just like, okay, can I just go to the end? And then no, I can't. Could not do that.
Well, they got the bonus cash as long as they can get off the roof in time.
You know, Zach, this may be the longest time in the air any contestant on Genki Bowl has spent.
What about the Gorilla Trapeze from Genki Bowl 5?
You know, the only real airtime in that was the 2 seconds of free fall between fending off attacks from monkeys with machetes and falling to the carpet of buzzsaws. Here, you don't have that same risk.
Good, there's the end of the match again, Bobby.
Genki is sure to be happy with how well Sad Panda's course has been a crowd pleaser.
And our contestant is sure to be happy with that result.
Thanks for watching Genki Bowl 7, everybody. See you next time.
Bye now.
Alright, so that is actually the last mission of Genki Bowl. We got like an hour of time with us overall, pared down to about half an hour. Probably more like 45 minutes actually, but either way, we got a bunch of stuff, a bunch of new mission types that I could revisit if I wanted to, and I guess also an ending cutscene that we're about to watch.
Would you believe it?
Did you see that? My goodness, a performance for the ages. I don't think I've ever witnessed something so remarkable.
Incredible. That was, without a doubt, the most amazing individual performance I've ever seen since Ping Pong Polly worked Thursday nights at Safe World.
Oh, I remember that. Hey, Bobby, how about we go down to the lovely Tammy Tolliver, who is standing by with our new champion, Tammy.
Thanks, Zach. You know, over the years, you've had your doubters. Some have said you were just riding on the coattails of more accomplished people. Is this vindication for you?
Absolutely. Not just for me, but for all the kids out there watching at home thinking that they'll never make something out of themselves. Yeah, I just want to tell those kids, no matter what, work hard and anything is possible.
What a great message to end on. Well, Zach,
Because I spent years honing my craft. Murdering, robbing, assaulting, more murdering, light treason, murdering again, all so that when I got my shot, I would be ready.
That's, enlightening. But what?
You gotta follow your dreams, kids. Because if you don't, you know what happens? You're gonna become your parents. How fucking depressing would that be? Think about it.
Okay, and now we're left wondering, who are her parents? Well, that's not something we have to answer. That's something we'll never know about. But we're done with Genki Bowl. So that is our time with the first of the DLC sets. Next time we return to the story, probably with a bang at Saints Row. It'd be weird if there isn't, and I'm sorry, you've done nothing wrong, it's just a force of habit at this point.